Hi, everybody. This is Asim Kapoor, founder and chief architect of Arc People Solutions, back with another interesting topic to talk about. As organizations, we learn every day. And with the VUCA world firmly in place, we realize that organizations and people have to not only learn, but have to adapt and act very, very quickly. Today, I have with me Sophie who joins us from Austria. Sophie is an affiliate partner with Arc People Solutions, and she's the founder and CEO of Service Excellence, a company that she founded in Dubai in 2015 as a business consulting and development firm. In the time that she was here, Sophie trained almost 10,000 people across various industries, across various companies, and is an absolute passionate person when it comes to delivering learning. So, Sophie, thank you very much for your time and for being here with us today.
Thank you, Asim. Thank you for the kind introductions. I got goosebumps everywhere. And it's a real pleasure not only to be affiliated to Art Solutions, but also to be able to speak to you today. So
Great,
thank you for the
great,
opportunity.
great. Pleasure's mine. So, Sophie, I mean, what do you think? Do you feel that face-to-face learning will become a nice to have for organizations now that everybody is becoming used to the online approach?
I must say I'm afraid so. However, I hope and I beg to differ. As you said, in my personal and my professional experience, I had the pleasure of training more than 10,000 people, and all of these were face-to-face interactions. I think there's a lot of things happening in terms of energy, in terms of mindset, and I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later. Um, I've been observing that shift to online and remote learning over the last 2 years, and I'm sure you witnessed that as well, especially in the Middle East or especially in the UAE. And I must say, as an entrepreneur in terms of training and development, I really honestly tried to push this topic further and further away. And I didn't want to accept it that this is becoming the new norm. As you said, the pandemic and what has happened in the market at the moment, it kind of pushed us into online space faster than we would have anticipated. I still believe and strongly believe that there are so many different factors and elements to learning that online learning might become or might be a kind of substitute to some organizations, might be a big cost factor as well. The availability of 24/7, all of these aspects are really big advantages. I believe if you want to do something in terms of knowledge training and skills, yes, I think that it complements the actual learning process. If you conduct sessions online, or if you have as the learner the ability to go online and just refresh or just gain initial knowledge. I think when it comes to behavioral training, the entire shift happens. This is where in behavioral training, coaching, team dynamics, leadership, and this is where I believe the face-to-face can't be obsolete. It has to be conducted in one way or another.
How do you see, face-to-face learning, which you're right is very critical for certain aspects of learning, kind of maintaining that sphere of importance for itself?
Yeah, I think rightly said. I think one cannot go without the other anymore. The time has changed. We've got to accept it. If you talk about resource management, like you said, I do remember, and we're still facing this now. When we want to organize a face-to-face classroom workshop, we've got to get the hotels on board. We've got to have certain health restrictions that we're following now with the pandemic. But even before, it was a big thing to actually organize events
Right.
rather than a classroom workshop or any experiential workshop. And I think that has pros and cons by itself again, because if you organize that, you hype up the learner, they're going to be looking forward to an experience, they're going to be looking forward to mingle and meet others. Now a lot of companies that I've been speaking to, especially in Europe, they've asked, well, is all of that still necessary? If the trainer is good enough, can't you do that over Zoom? I mean, you and I are just having an amazing Zoom conversation, and I'm grateful for these tools to be available. A couple of months ago, I wouldn't have used Zoom, maybe Skype or other tools,
Right.
and now it's become the new normal.
Right.
Is the same effect going to be measurable in terms of training delivery? I still doubt it. I think that there are a lot of tools available, and a lot of things have happened with artificial intelligence in the past. I think that they are complementing the overall process. I think in terms of HR management, resource management, online, or being able to measure things online, performance, the actual time spent with a certain tool, with a certain topic. Yes, all of that is beneficial. It's far easier to measure everything, and then to get insights whenever you want it, how you want it, right? When it comes to team dynamics and you want to discuss, I don't know, a strategic plan going forward for Q1 next year, um, will you be able to have the same value of conversations over a Zoom meeting and have breakout sessions and then come back and recap? I still doubt that. I think there's a lot of potential that is lost, you know.
And you're somebody who kind of gets that energy from being in a face-to-face training in a classroom, and kind of, or whatever environment it may be, getting people all excited and hyped up about the topic, and kind of creating that. And mostly, I mean, trainers who are people trainers are of that kind of a mindset. What advice would you give them so that they don't lose their individuality or their passion about that face-to-face learning, yet are able to adapt to this now changing aspect of the online learning becoming more relevant?
I would say stick to who you are. I mean, honestly speaking, I had a session the other day, a couple of weeks ago, and there were students online from a university, and it was a course about entrepreneurship.
Right.
And half of the class was sitting together, very distant, having masks, and the other half was, linked in online. And I did my usual "you rock" and said good morning, and I can't hear you. And I had music as the intro before I came to the screen. I think you've just got to stick to who you are. You've just got to, yeah, be true to yourself. Yes, it was really weird doing that in front of the camera, and it was really weird, shouting at my laptop and getting myself hyped up. But I think that you can just do as much as you can.
Yeah.
I talked to trainers who had online sessions, also in Europe, and I think in Europe we're a little bit behind in terms of time and what can be possible, if I compare it to my last couple of years in the UAE or in the Middle East in general.
Right.
But even here, not being able to have face-to-face interaction for a lot of people was a big thing. It was what you just said. It was about losing their identity. I won't have the same rates because my personality in training is half of the game, and I need to be able to motivate people. There were a lot of people who were super relieved when they would be able to go back to classroom workshops. And it's just good to talk to people in the industry. Some say, well, I've just got to make use of the time and up my material, and maybe retreat a little bit, regain energy. And others say, we'll just take it, we'll just adapt and go for it. Yeah.
Real learning does happen when you can interact with people in a social environment as well, and everything, right? So thanks a lot for your time, Sophie. I think those were some great insights and everything. For our viewers and listeners, I mean, what do you think? Is face-to-face learning going to face more and more challenges, or is it going to come back with a vengeance, in a blended environment, obviously, but will it be back? What do you think? Leave us a comment or drop us a note, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much, and see you later.
Thank you.
Bye.